This is Morning America, and today we're following a major legal and political development coming straight from the White House. President Donald Trump has issued a second pardon to a January 6 defendant, a man who remained behind bars even after the broad pardons Trump granted to Capitol rioters earlier this year. The man at the center of this story is Daniel Edwin Wilson from Louisville, Kentucky. Wilson had already been pardoned for his actions on January 6, but he stayed in prison because of a separate conviction for illegally possessing firearms. Federal agents found 6 guns and nearly 5,000 rounds of ammunition in his home during their investigation. Because Wilson had previous felony convictions, he was not allowed to have any firearms at all. This created a complicated legal debate. Did Trump's January 6 pardons also cover crimes discovered during those investigations, even if they were unrelated to breaching the Capitol? Prosecutors originally argued that the answer was no, but the Justice Department later changed its course, saying it had received new clarity about the intent of the president's pardons. A federal judge who was appointed by Trump criticized the Justice Department earlier this year for shifting its arguments and said it was unusual for federal prosecutors to suggest that the January 6 pardons could extend to what she called the contraband found in related searches. Despite all that legal back and forth, President Trump made his position clear this weekend. A White House official said the search of Wilson's home only happened because of the January 6 investigation and that, and I quote, they should have never been there in the first place, end of quote. On that basis, President Trump granted Wilson a full pardon for the firearm charges. Wilson had been sentenced in 2024 to 5 years in prison after pleading guilty to conspiring to impede police officers and illegally possessing guns. Prosecutors claimed he had spent weeks planning for January 6 and had communicated with members of the Oath Keepers and the 3%ers, two groups tied to far-right extremism. They also pointed to messages they said showed Wilson believed the country was headed toward civil conflict. In one message he wrote shortly after the 2020 election, he said he was willing to sacrifice himself, whether it means prison or death. Wilson expressed regret at his sentencing, saying he entered the Capitol with what he described as good intentions. Following the president's new pardon, Wilson was released Friday evening. His lawyer thanked Trump, saying Wilson can now reunite with his family and rebuild his life. Write a comment down below and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. This is Morning America.